Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I recently got a new I guess like a new MacBook Pro 16-inch M4 Pro, gigabyte of RAM and 1 TB of storage. Yeah, so I used to be actually like a Windows person. My previous computer was a Legion 7i that I got in 2021. It had like an RTX 370 and it was like Intel 7, yeah, an Intel 7. Yeah, so that computer was quite great. It was really good at gaming, but it battery, right? Like it could never last 2 hours without me having to constantly charge it. And then the performance difference when it was plug and unplug was just it was just like nuts. So I was like, I gotta like get a new computer. And then I recently just like got this new one. I watched a couple of reviews online about the new MacBook Pro M4 Pro stuff, and then I realized that it was a really big improvement compared to the M3 Pro. So I was like, let me just go with that. And then it had a higher starting RAM, and also like a higher storage, better read and write speeds. It also had like a Thunderbolt 5 port, which I don't really have any like Thunderbolt 5 item right now, but yeah. So I've been using this Mac for about what, two? This is the third week. Yeah, this is the third week now. And then yeah, I have been watching a couple of videos just trying to like learn how to make this the most useful possible, and then go from there. So you can see I really have like my wall my like wallpaper here. So if you know, you know, that's like the Jujutsu Kaisen anime stuff. But starting over, I didn't really like the notch, but now I don't really even like see the notch. So I had this extension. It's basically free, so it's like an open source extension that you can get for free online. So you just have to go to the GitHub page. And then I also have this thing that basically hides the notch. So right now when I look at my screen, there's basically virtually no notch. So I can have this thing right here and then maybe start playing music, look at my calendar, and also just like upload airdrop stuff right here. So I know there's a couple of, I mean, there's some few apps actually that does that, but this is the only app I've actually found out which was free. So the app is actually on my browser right now, and then I type the boring notch. Yeah. So it's basically like on GitHub. So you basically need to download either you download directly on GitHub like that, or you can use homebrews if you guys are familiar with homebrews. But that's kind of like how I was able to install it. It's pretty, again, it's like a new open source, pretty much open source app. So it's pretty much free to use. It's really good, right? It's actually quite good, right? It's like no bug happening. So when if I play a video, it's gonna be playing right there. I can basically like play music from there. Quite great. Another app I've been using also to make top notch. Top notch is also another free app. So it basically just like makes the top notch. So yeah, so that's one of the two apps I've been using. The other one I've been using is this one. It's, I don't know, it's basically similar to a Spider with Toolkit. It's another GitHub app. So I also like just download it from GitHub. So it's again open source. It's quite similar to, I believe it's similar to Al Dente, but it's basically just like free. So it basically has like all the basic Al Dente feature, but for free. So that's another app I'm using. Another extension I actually quite like, I actually enjoy is Alfred. Alfred is my new. It basically like replace Spotlight for me. So when I type Control Space, it basically open Alfred, and then I can ask whatever I want. Yeah, open any app I want. Another extension which I also really enjoy using is Raycast. Raycast.
So race basically race will help me, like, yeah, I can type option space and then it basically like open raycast for me. I can look at my calculator history, look at my schedule, look at my clipboard history, create like an extension, basically stuff like that. That's kind of like the main three tools I'm using. I also have this other app right here which basically help me have my extension. I believe the name is like Clyde or something. Ice, yeah, it's actually Ice. So it's also similar. It's basically like an open source project from someone. So it's also like open source. So if you type Ice and then you go right there, it's also like an open source project on GitHub. So it's again free, like free to use, like free to download. Yeah, so I'm really, I really like to support like open source apps. That's why I'm always trying to find open source alternative, and that's kind of what I like to use. Yeah, also really great app. So you have so you have Alt-Tab. Alt-Tab, again, I was coming from Windows. It basically just helped me shift stuff like that, really quick without having to like have to drag Windows around. Just use again quick shortcuts. That's one of the ways. And then another one I'm using is this app for the mouse. So this is a linear mouse. Basically, again, I'm used to be using like an external monitor. So this is just basically to configure my mouse to basically like increase the scroll speed and also like fix, because I like to scroll. I like to scroll down like this, basically. So I can do it on the mouse. So that's why I added that. Another really important app I'm using is the iDisplay. So again, when you have a second display connected, you can easily like switch toggle right there and adjust the light, adjust the volume. Pretty much that. I'm using a couple of apps actually. Another app I actually enjoy using is Command X. If you guys use Windows, you know, like Command X is basically like cut and paste, right? Because on Mac you have to copy it and paste. Sometimes you just want to cut and paste. So that's basically what Command X helps you to do. And then Clyde is also another open source app. So think about it as like a security guard basically for your for your Mac. So when you basically when you activate Clyde, if someone basically if you basically think about you're maybe in in the airport and stuff, and you basically have your Mac at the airport on the table, and you want to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. So you can basically activate Clyde, and then when you activate the Clyde, if someone tries to basically move your computer away from you or far away from you or close your computer lid, an alarm is just gonna start ringing basically. That's a really also a nice addition app I like to use. Regarding other apps I have on my Mac, so I have a VS Code extension. I'm using the app browser, Outlook as my main email stuff, and then I also have Perplexity. I don't use it as much as I used to at the beginning. I have a Grammarly good notes for my iPad note to sync everything on one. Ina is also another great app, a great app because it basically helps you read. It can basically read any files you have, and I feel like it's just better than the default macOS alternative. So I have basically Shutter. Shutter is just a quick for screenshots. So instead of typing, yeah, I'm not used to using those keyboard shortcut, right? So sometimes I just want to do a quick screenshot on Windows. You have a key for that, but on Mac you don't actually have a key for that. So I just have a shortcut. I think it's Control S. Yeah, so I open Shutter with Control S, and then that's basically what it is right now. And then I can basically just paint or add drawings, stuff like that. Save my app, add markings, or basically blur some spaces, stuff like that, and then I can save it on my computer or just copy it. That's one way I use Shutter for. Another app I use again, I mentioned Top Notch, Boring Notch, Visual Studio Code. Image Playground is a new app from Apple that recently came out with the new macOS updates. I can definitely go about that in the next video. And then LLM Studio. Yeah, LLM Studio is just a quick way to be running LLMs locally without really having to be connected to the internet, right? So right there I have a Llama 3.2. It's a 3 billion model, instruction model. It's just basically about 2 GB, so I can basically load that, and then I load the model. So now I can basically just chat with the model without having to be connected to Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So I don't know. I use that sometimes with VS Code. If I'm maybe in the if I'm in an airplane and stuff like that, I can basically just connect that to my VS Code, and then maybe it basically helps me to code faster. So you can upload a document and then chat with the document, or just ask a random question how are you, and it's gonna be quite fast again because yeah, so quite fast. It took 0.53 seconds to generate again because you have all this RAM available on my Mac, and then you also have the power of the M4 Pro. It basically makes this super fast. That's one other thing I use, and then another thing I actually use is Docker. Docker is just I use that for basically just to have Ubuntu on my Mac. So I'm just again used to be using Ubuntu. So I have a Docker container where I keep Ubuntu running on my Mac, and also just different other image files. Something else is DB Biver. This is basically for database management. So whenever you have a database and you just want to have a better visualization of the database, that's basically the easiest way to have it. Another great app is Proton VPN. So this app IP address in the US. So for anyone using another app called AdGuard, this basically again it's a tracker app. It basically tracks blocks out on my Mac, blocks tracker, and then also you have a couple of parameters that you can implement to block different stuff. You also have Dropover. Dropover is also a really great app because it basically helps you move files around without any issues. And then yeah, Postman again. Postman is mainly for just testing API calls, just to make sure that my API call is actually working out fine. I have this a couple of apps right there. This is basically a keycard for PCB design, mainly for school. I always have Slack. I have actually WAP. WAP is a new type of terminal. Basically, it has an AI embedded in the terminal, so you can go. I usually don't really remember terminal command beside the basic terminal command such as ls, cd, lsa, mkdir, basic command. And sometimes if you want to actually have a complete complex command, right? So let's say you want to install Homebrew, so you can maybe just type right there and then it's basically gonna think, and then it's gonna return to you a command on how to like install Homebrew. I currently have Homebrew installed on my computer, but that's just like a quick way of doing that. Yeah, it doesn't close, so you have to like click command create in order to actually close an app. That was really like weird. Just when I started doing that, it was kind of just like weird to like have to manually actually click command create to actually close an app. Because on Windows, when you just like click the X cross, it basically just like close an app. But on Mac, that doesn't actually happen. So more extensions I have. Yeah, I actually have a couple of extensions. So I have a app cleaner. So whenever you're downloading an app and then you want to basically just like erase everything clean, you can use app cleaner to basically just like wipe out completely, remove the app completely and save storage on your Mac. I also have like PDF gear. I mainly use this for school. So sometimes you maybe want to open the PDF or maybe like change the PDF to convert the PDF from PDF to Words or from Words to PDF or Excel to PDF. That's a great app to use. It also have like an AI chat feature where you can basically like chat with your PDF, the PDF you have on file. I went through Alfred. Oh not yeah, I have this other app called on Artira. So I usually download a lot of the zip file, and I kind of figured out that the default app on Mac doesn't actually do the job for me. So I kind of like find out about this app, which basically helped me do that. So yeah, I quickly went through basically the app I use most of the time. Yeah, I kind of also like clean some default app I never actually use. Yeah, so I mean, I mainly use like VS Studio Code. I mainly use LLM Studio, Docker, obviously the Arc browser, and then KiCad. That's kind of like mainly what I use. I guess on my day-to-day basis, that's mainly what I use. I also use like Outlook, obviously, but that's kind of like what I use on my day-to-day basis. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I have on my Mac, what I install on my Mac. I also have like those different shortcuts I install. So maybe like when I swipe up, it basically open the all the apps icon, and then when I'm like all those like different gestures you have on the Mac to like open Stage Manager, for example. Yeah, so it's still a learning. I guess it's still a learning curve there. It's not like it's not the smoothest thing ever, right? But I'm gonna get used to it, and then I'm probably gonna be doing a new video when I'm getting better. But in general, I definitely enjoy this particular app. Having this thing where I'm definitely enjoy this notch, because I think that's probably the best extension I have here. And then you also have again like which one is that? Yeah, top notch, and then yeah, the battery. I can basically just keep my battery at 82%, even though because my computer is always plugged in, because I'm using like an external laptop, so I can just like keep my battery there always without actually like having to destroy my lithium battery. So yeah, so tell me if you guys need in another video. I can definitely do that and go through in more detail how to install those like other apps like the Burning Notch and Ice, and also how to use the LLM Studio, or how to basically just like get started with VS Code or install Homebrew.